Alan, the ranting bus driver, and we're getting together because we're going to be coming up with a new format to present ideas, thoughts, opinions to Trimet bus drivers.
And to send out information.
And information, yeah. Because that's what both of us are concerned about. The information does not get out to the members that don't attend the meetings. And what is it? Like maybe 10% of the members actually attend the meetings. Maybe even less than 10%.
Oh, well, now, if you're looking at, I mean, you got the chapter meeting, then you have all the other meetings that they have.
Well, I'm talking about Trimet, though. Forget about the other properties.
Well, okay.
I don't care about the other properties. I don't read their little officer reports. I just read the Trimet officer reports.
Yeah, but you need to you need to care
Well,
about the other The reason I say that is because, like, when things go up to vote, it's the entire membership that votes.
They don't. Does the entire membership vote on our contract? No.
No, not on the contract. Not on the contract.
No.
For example,
We
the
don't have to
last
vote on the
thing was they took the vote for Chris Alexander to the entire membership.
Yeah.
When it only took PAL operators to vote him in.
Right.
So.
But to get him out, we take the whole membership.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is odd, isn't it? The way they have that set up. In other words, once you're in, you're in.
It's really hard to get them out.
Yeah. Once you're in, you're in, and kind of sounds like the political parties almost.
Yeah. Well, my big issue is transparency.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah.
If you look at trying to find out what each employee made.
Well, we can find that out now because
We can find, well,
Cascade Policy Group put out the list of every employee and how much they made.
Yeah, but did you pull up any of the union officers?
Well, no, it doesn't have the union. It has Trimet employees.
Yeah, it has Trimet.
You were able to find out where the.
But that report was June of 2009.
The one that you.
Yeah, the one that the LM2 was
Right.
only of June of 2009. 2010 has not been submitted. That's only submitted once a year. We should have access to that anytime we request it from the secretary.
Right. And have you requested it?
I have not submitted a request in writing. I've done verbal requests and stuff, and they've been too busy, so I have to do it in
Are
writing.
you going to the meeting tomorrow?
Oh, yes. Oh,
Do
yes.
it there.
Well,
Among lots of stuff that will be coming up there.
Yeah, doing it there. I mean, you
can't get word edgewise
to request information. I found the only way to get the information is you have to formally request it in writing and personally hand it in and have them timestamp it, and then keep a copy for yourself, and then you have to follow up consistently until you get the copy. So
I haven't really had any dealings with the union on that level, so I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm interested in where our money's going.
Yeah. Well, I think I am too.
And I'm interested in seeing receipts. They will not show receipts.
They do, really?
I have not seen receipts, but I have not submitted a written request yet to see receipts.
Okay.
But we're supposed to have access to this information.
Yeah.
And
well, Trimet does the same thing. Try to find out where all the money's going there. You can't.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is on top of transparency, what about training? Training of union officers. I mean, do you know who your shop stewards are at Merlot?
Well, I know Jeff Ackerson is my rep.
Well, Jeff Ackerson.
I think that was Patty Pellegrin was one of them.
Jeff Ackerson is your executive board officer.
Yeah.
Then you have your liaison, who is
That's the extra board liaison.
The extra board liaison, Steve Eccles. Then you should have a handful. You should have some shop stewards.
Yeah, I think Patty Pellegrin's one of them. What is the difference? What is a shop steward for?
Well, I mean,
see, I don't even really know what the demarcation is. Jeff Ackerson is the only man I need to really know, because when I'm in trouble.
Let's give Center Street, for example.
Quite often.
You got Center Street. Center Street has over 500 operators and one executive board officer, Sandy Gingrich. Okay. If, let's say 10%, that's 50 operators have an issue, she's trying to handle 50 operators with issues. I mean, it's bombarded. I mean, the design of the union, and you have shop stewards to help keep problems from growing, you know, catching them earlier, handling member-to-member issues. trying to resolve them before they come into possible HR issue or disciplinary type issues. It's try to handle it within the union before it goes out.
Yeah, that's the idea. I don't know.
And then, so a good union, you would have one shop steward for every 10 to 20 members.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, that frees up the executive board officer to handle the higher priority, the more difficult situations that are going on, and to make sure that they maintain the training of the liaison and the shop stewards to keep them all on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
I was looking for my. There's nothing. Sorry. But the shop steward would be theoretically handling what, interpersonal problems between drivers.
Helping getting paperwork set up, helping with grievances, helping with accident reports. I mean, accident reports. So many of those they go to appeals because a form wasn't filled out correctly, not enough information was given, or I mean, there's several different combinations of things, but the key source is that the form wasn't properly filled out, and the correct information wasn't put out, or not enough information. And all of our members aren't trained, and they go by their own instinct on how to fill it out and stuff.
That's true.
They're also,
there is no training for that, is there? Now that you mention it.
No, not really.
That's a good point.
And see, and you just got involved in something where you're having to all of a sudden being required to fill. It's easier to have someone sitting by you that isn't as personally involved with what just happened to help build a clearer picture for you by asking you the right questions and getting you to pull things up and getting it while it's fresh in your mind, and having someone to vent it to. That's why shop stewards are so important.
I see. Good point.
See, and
I've never thought about it, but
if you have good interaction, and plus, whenever something happens with a member and they are needing the union or union representation, at least having a shop steward to come to first that can be a voice to talk to, could give them clearer direction, and it would be educated direction, so they're doing the right steps rather than letting something go by or all that, or missing, because a lot of our stuff is time sensitive.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
Well, a shop steward right now doesn't seem to have any real role, do they?
No.
Right.
Liaison doesn't really have a real role right now.
Extra board or liaison.
I mean,
they just represent extra board or something. I really know.
Extra board is supposed to be 100% participating with the extra board. They're supposed to pay attention to the daily extra board. Make sure work's assigned appropriately. Make sure the pass-ups are going in the right order, and it's just overseeing, because the extra board, I mean, they make the board up the day before, but then when it comes to the operating day, then there's changes. There's people that calls in sick, so there's constantly changing.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
And it creates a little bit of a circus, and you have to learn. And the extra board rules. There's so many rules. I mean, from the red line it goes this way, but then on the holiday it goes that way. When something does go wrong, only the first affected gets corrected. Everything else just sort of gets pushed aside. So there, and
so that's what the extra board liaison is supposed to be watching. The station agents do that, then, right? Make sure that they're following those.
The liaison's supposed to double check the work assignment that's put out beforehand and make sure it's assigned properly, and then when the board is actually in use, making sure that work's being assigned, because you got pre-assigned work and then sick calls and unpredicted stuff going on. Right. So
I've never been on the extra board, so I don't know how it works. It's not something that interests me. Right?
Yeah, it can be fun. It's very active. It's very different daily.
Yeah.
And it's one that has the largest issues.
Really?
Because there's there's so many chances for errors.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's something that always needs a watchful eye. That's why there is.
Are they doing that? Probably not. Huh? I never heard any controversies.
Steve over at Merlot,
Yeah.
he's been there forever.
Yeah.
So I mean, he knows the board.
Yeah.
He is a good board man. He could walk by and just look at the runs,
Mm-hmm.
and know when something's right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the eye for that.
How do you get that position? Did he run for it or appointed? How's that?
Okay. From the liaison on up are all elected positions.
Elected. He was
Elected
elected.
position, correct. Yes, he was elected in 2009.
Steve Exel's one?
Yeah.
Huh.
Actually, he was re-elected in 2009.
I don't remember voting for him. Did I vote? I only remember voting for the.
Did you vote?
Yeah.
'Cause, you know,
I did. I voted for-
only 52% of the votes came back on this last vote. And so almost
half of operators didn't vote in the.
half of the union members, the entire membership,
Wow.
did not vote.
Wow. Well, that tells you something right there.
But
Half of them are not going to
you
get
know,
all to
during the vote counting, the vote counting company that does the voting
Mhm.
was impressed on the numbers, the 52%. Typically, for union votes, that is not typical.
Really?
Typically, they get around 40 to 45% of the votes in.
Hmm.
So they were impressed that
That
we got
tells you why
past
the
50.
union movement is waning, because people aren't taking an interest.
People I think they're complacent.
Yes, I agree. They're fat and happy or something.
Well, they didn't have to. Was it you that told me that the old union members that put the blood out for it and stuff?
Mhm.
That's where they showed all the respect and stuff, and that they
Right.
worked with it, and
the
they
new
do
ones
the
don't see
the
that.
new ones just walked into it
Right.
and didn't know how hard these people have worked. It's just like what's going on with our medical.
Yeah, right. That's right.
I mean, I've only been with Trimet for 4 years.
Mhm.
And so I walked into a good deal.
Yeah.
I didn't have to forfeit raises through contract negotiations to keep my medical. And so these people that, the past 10, 20 years, have said, well, no, instead of taking a raise, we'll just keep our medical. Now they're being told, well, thank you for that, and now we're going to go ahead and have you pay for your medical.
Yeah. Well, people like me, career mini runners, it hurts bad.
Yeah.
Because we don't make that much money.
Well,
and I'm going from $160 a month that I have to pay out of a $35,000 check before taxes to $310 a month, which is a huge hit on somebody who's not making a lot of money. Because the press would have you believe that we're all making $100,000, but
Well, what I don't get, John and I are a good example. We are both with Blue Cross Blue Shield. Excuse me. And I'm a full-time, he's a mini-run.
Mm-hmm.
I work more hours, I make more money.
Mm-hmm.
He works less hours, makes less money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to pay almost, $80
For you.
a month for me.
Yeah.
For the same identical coverage, John's going to have to pay 160. Well, 153.
Because that's what it went up. That's correct.
It's the same identical coverage.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a good point.
When I asked Human Resource about it,
Yeah.
Human Resource stated, well, mini runners are not as invested into the company as full-timers because they're not putting as many hours in. It still doesn't make sense to me. Are they
Well,
saying-
by their theory, then the people that are working 100 hours a week should get everything free. By that theory, if you want to go by how many hours you put in, you know.
Yeah,
I mean,
I don't understand the logic behind it.
well, it's just a way to get out of paying benefits. It's, they have a rationale to screw you over,
But why charge the mini runners double?
because we're discriminated against, unfortunately.